What if I told you that lifting weights, eating steak, or drinking protein shakes every day might not be enough to stop your muscles from shrinking as you age? Sounds crazy, right? For decades, we've all been taught that more protein equals more muscle. But here's the shocking truth. Thousands of seniors in the US are losing strength every single year. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't eat enough, but because they're missing one very specific nutrient. Now, I know this sounds controversial. Some experts will tell you that all you need is protein and exercise. Others, including myself after 25 years of medical practice here in the US, will argue that this belief is not only incomplete, it's dangerously misleading. And today, I want to challenge what you think you know about muscle health. So why should you keep watching? Because by the end of this video, you'll walk away with a science-backed strategy that can literally turn back your body clock. I'm talking about keeping your muscles as strong and resilient as they were in your 30s, even if you're already past 70. This isn't hype. It's not a supplement ad. It's a blueprint I've seen transform the lives of my own patients. And here's the kicker. I'll also reveal 3 common foods that secretly cancel out your muscle-building efforts. Chances are, you ate at least one of them this week. When you hear what they are, you'll never look at your dinner plate the same way again. So stay with me, because in just a few minutes, you're going to discover a completely different approach to fighting muscle loss, something you won't hear in the mainstream. And if you want to follow along step by step, I've left the full outline and video notes for you right in the description box below. You know, one of the biggest mistakes I see over and over again is this idea that muscle health is only about protein. People pile on steaks, chug milk, or scoop whey powder into their shakes, and then feel frustrated when their muscles still get weaker year after year. I had a 68-year-old patient here in the US. He hit the gym 5 days a week, never missed his whey shake, and still watched his arms and legs slowly shrink. He kept asking me, "Doc, what am I doing wrong?" Another common trap? Beef bone broth. A lot of folks think it's packed with collagen, but the truth is, it barely scratches the surface. To really support your muscles, especially after 60, you'd need several cups a day, and even then, it wouldn't be enough. And don't get me started on those bargain bin collagen supplements. If you don't understand how collagen is absorbed, you're basically throwing money away. These aren't bad habits, they're just misunderstandings. We've been told for decades that protein is everything. But here's the twist. Protein alone isn't the whole story. There's a missing piece, something that actually makes all that effort finally pay off. So what is it? Stay with me, because we're about to uncover the key that most people overlook, and it could change the way you think about muscle health forever. Here's something most people don't realize. Collagen isn't the same as regular protein. It's not just another nutrient you throw on top of your diet. It's the scaffolding that literally holds your muscles, joints, and connective tissues together. Think of your muscles like a house. Protein is the stack of bricks. But collagen? That's the cement. Without cement, the bricks collapse no matter how many you add. That's why so many people eat more protein, hit the gym faithfully, and still see their muscles shrink. What's even more surprising is how much our body's natural collagen production drops as we age. By the time you're in your 60s, your body can produce 30 to 40% less collagen than it did in your younger years. That's a massive decline, and it explains why even the strongest people suddenly notice their strength slipping away, their joints aching, or their recovery taking longer. It's not because you're weak, or because you're not trying hard enough, it's simply biology. And yet, nobody really talks about this. We're told to load up on chicken breasts, whey shakes, or bone broth, but rarely do we hear about collagen as the missing piece. Imagine building a home with endless stacks of bricks, but never adding the cement. It might look fine for a while, but eventually, everything crumbles. That's exactly what happens inside our bodies. So the real question is, where do you actually get collagen that makes a difference? Not all sources are equal, and some of the most effective ones are hidden in plain sight. In fact, there are natural foods rich in collagen that almost nobody talks about, and they could be the very thing that keeps your muscles from wasting away. We'll uncover those in just a moment, and once you know them, you'll never look at muscle health the same way again. One of the most overlooked yet powerful sources of collagen is something that's been used quietly in traditional cultures for centuries: fish skin broth. Just a single cup can deliver 12 to 15 grams of collagen, which is nearly double what you'd get from most bone broths. But here's where it gets even more exciting. It's not just about the collagen. Fish skin is also loaded with omega-3 fatty acids and selenium. Together, they don't just protect your muscles. They fight inflammation, calm joint pain, and even support memory and brain health. Think about it. Omega-3s act like oil for your engine, reducing the stiffness and friction that make everyday movements harder as we age. Selenium works quietly in the background, protecting your cells from stress and damage. Combine that with collagen, the cement that holds your muscle fibers together, and you've got a recipe for keeping your body strong, flexible, and sharp all at once. And the best part? Making it couldn't be simpler. Take salmon or cod skin, something many people just throw away, add water, a few slices of fresh ginger, maybe a pinch of sea salt, and let it simmer gently for 3 to 4 hours. When it cools, the broth should gel slightly. That's the sign you've unlocked the collagen. It's humble, it's affordable, and it's something you can bring into your daily routine without turning your life upside down. I'll never forget a patient of mine, a Japanese-American gentleman in his late 70s. While many of his friends were struggling with weakness and frailty, he was still walking tall, gardening, and even swimming a few times a week. His secret? He told me he had grown up eating fish skin regularly, something his mother always said would keep his body young. Looking at his vitality at 80, it was hard to argue with that wisdom. Now, fish skin broth on its own is an incredible tool. But here's the thing. There's another source of collagen that takes it to an entirely different level. In fact, it's even richer, even more effective, and almost no one in America talks about it. And I promise, when you hear what it is, you'll be surprised. If fish skin broth is like discovering a hidden gem, then chicken feet broth is the treasure chest everyone walks past without realizing what's inside. Just 1 cup can pack 15 to 18 grams of collagen, more than almost any other natural food source. But collagen isn't the only star here. Chicken feet are rich in glucosamine and chondroitin, 2 compounds that many people spend hundreds of dollars on through expensive supplements. These nutrients are like the repair crew for your tendons, cartilage, and joints. Together, they help rebuild, restore, and strengthen the very structures that keep you moving freely. When you drink chicken feet broth regularly, you're not just giving your body extra protein, you're fueling the exact building blocks your muscles and joints have been begging for. For older adults, this can mean bouncing back faster after exercise, climbing stairs without aching knees, or simply feeling steadier and stronger in daily life. I've even seen it make a difference in recovery after injuries. The good news? Preparing it doesn't have to be complicated. Take 6 to 8 cleaned chicken feet, toss them into a pressure cooker with onion, garlic, and a few herbs, and let it cook for about an hour. The result is a thick, rich broth that gels beautifully when cooled. That gel is proof of the collagen you've unlocked. And unlike pricey powders or supplements, this is real food your body knows exactly how to use. I think of one of my patients, a middle-aged Latino man who suffered a severe fracture in his leg. His doctors expected recovery to be slow and difficult, but he told me his grandmother had always made chicken feet soup when someone in the family was hurt. He went back to that tradition, drinking it several times a week, and his healing was noticeably faster than anyone predicted. His X-rays told the story: stronger bone density and quicker repair. Sometimes old wisdom turns out to be the best medicine. Now here's where it gets even more exciting. Fish skin broth and chicken feet broth are each powerful on their own, but when you combine them, something remarkable happens. They work together, covering gaps that one source alone can't fill. It's like giving your muscles and joints a complete toolbox instead of just one or two tools. And here's the secret. Most clinics, even most doctors, never tell you about this synergy. But it's a key that could transform how you fight muscle loss and joint decline. When you bring fish skin broth and chicken feet broth together, something special happens. It's almost like they were made to complement each other. Fish collagen is small and quick, like a sprinter. It absorbs easily and goes straight to work repairing tissues, calming inflammation, and supporting skin and muscles. Chicken collagen, on the other hand, is sturdy and strong, packed with compounds that target joints, ligaments, and cartilage. Alone, each one is powerful. But together, they create what feels like a complete system of protection and repair. Think of it like building a dream team. On the field, you don't want everyone to play the same role. You need balance, someone fast, someone powerful, someone who can keep the team steady. Fish collagen is your speed player, acting quickly where your body needs it most. Chicken collagen is your powerhouse, reinforcing the structure so the whole system doesn't collapse. When they work side by side, your muscles and joints get both the speed and the strength they need to stay resilient. Using them isn't complicated. You don't need to drink broth every single day to notice the difference. Just rotating between fish skin broth and chicken feet broth 2 or 3 times a week, or mixing them throughout your meals in the same week, is often enough. Some people like to keep a jar of each in the fridge and alternate days. Others batch cook and freeze portions so it's always ready when life gets busy. And the benefits are more than just physical. Many people notice they recover faster after a walk, a workout, or even after gardening. Their knees don't ache as much, their muscles don't feel as tired, and they even report clearer thinking, thanks to the omega-3s in fish and the joint-supporting compounds in chicken. It's like giving your whole body a supportive foundation that helps you feel younger than your years. But here's the important part. If you don't use them correctly, all of these benefits can slip right through your fingers. Yes, even something this natural and powerful can lose its magic if paired the wrong way. Why does that happen? Because there are 3 hidden enemies that most people never think about. Enemies that can quietly undo all your progress. And once you know what they are, you'll see why timing, balance, and awareness matter so much. One of the hardest truths I've had to tell patients is this. No matter how much collagen you take, it won't matter if you're secretly feeding the very things that destroy it. And most people don't even realize they're doing it. Take white rice, for example. It seems harmless, right? Soft, comforting, part of so many meals. But here's what happens inside your body. The quick spike in blood sugar triggers a chain reaction that creates what scientists call AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Think of AGEs like tiny rust spots forming on your muscles and joints. Over time, they eat away at collagen, weakening the very foundation you're trying to rebuild. Then there's alcohol. A glass of wine here, a few beers on the weekend. Many people see it as no big deal. But alcohol slows down muscle recovery, disrupts sleep, and interferes with how your body repairs tissues. I had a patient, a 72-year-old man, who was faithful with his collagen supplements. He never missed a dose, but every Saturday he'd have just a couple of beers with his friends. After months, he was frustrated that his muscles still felt weak, and his progress stalled. The truth is, those beers were quietly undoing all his hard work. And perhaps the most deceptive of all, processed meats like bacon. Yes, they're tasty. But hidden inside are nitrates and phosphates that spark inflammation, stress your joints, and even raise cancer risks. It's like throwing gasoline on a slow-burning fire inside your body. The collagen you're adding can't fight back fast enough, and the damage keeps piling up. Avoiding these foods doesn't mean giving up every pleasure in life. It's about recognizing what silently chips away at your foundation, and choosing to protect your investment. Because when you do, collagen transforms from just another supplement into something far more powerful, almost like nature's version of a youth-preserving medicine. So the real question becomes, how do you not only add collagen, but also safeguard it, turning it into lasting strength and vitality? The answer lies in a bigger strategy, one that pulls everything together in a way most people never hear about. And that's exactly what we're about to dive into next. When it comes to fighting muscle loss, there's no single magic pill. The real power lies in a complete strategy, a lifestyle that works together like pieces of a puzzle. Let's start with nutrition. Collagen on its own is powerful, but when you pair it with quality protein and fresh vegetables rich in vitamin C, that's when the magic really happens. Think of it this way. Collagen gives your body the cement, protein adds the bricks, and vitamin C acts like the glue that helps it all stick together. Without that combination, your body is always a step behind in rebuilding. Then there's lifestyle. You don't need a gym full of heavy weights. Something as simple as resistance bands or a brisk walk can stimulate your muscles in just the right way. And don't underestimate sleep. 7 to 8 hours of deep, restorative rest is when your body does its best repair work. Miss out on that, and it's like trying to build a house while the workers are half asleep. But muscle health isn't just about the body. It's also about the mind. Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, a hormone that breaks down muscle tissue. On the other hand, light movement, laughter, and even listening to music can boost dopamine, the feel-good chemical that encourages your body to thrive. Keeping stress low isn't just good for your heart. It directly protects your muscles too. I'll never forget one patient, a 74-year-old woman who came to me using a walker. She felt defeated, certain her independence was gone for good. But together, we built a simple plan. Collagen-rich meals, short daily walks, light resistance exercises, and better sleep hygiene. 6 months later, she walked into my office without the walker, grinning ear to ear, because she'd just come back from doing her own grocery shopping. And that's the beauty of a full strategy. It's not about quick fixes, it's about stacking small, smart habits that add up to something life-changing. And here's the secret I want to share with you, something I've rarely spoken about publicly. There's one overlooked factor that can take all these efforts and double their impact. So if you've been wondering how to truly protect your muscles as the years go by, the answer may be simpler than you think. The combination of fish skin broth and chicken feet broth is more than just an old tradition. It's a science-backed key to fighting sarcopenia. One provides fast-absorbing marine collagen, the other strengthens joints and tendons, and together they create the perfect balance your body needs. I've seen what happens when people stick with this. With consistency, the results are remarkable. Even at 80, even at 90, your muscles can stay strong, your steps can stay steady, and your independence can remain yours. It's not about turning back the clock, it's about moving forward with vitality, without fear of losing the strength you've worked so hard to build. And this is just the beginning. In the next video, I'll reveal the overlooked daily habit that can double the benefits of collagen and protect you from the silent forces that age your body faster than you realize. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.